This is fun. So apparently Mandy Patinkin went on Meet the Press. I'm not sure why. Great guy. To talk about how his show Homeland is, attempting now, finally, after 6 seasons, to not portray...
After being pseudo-intellectual 24. Now,
Right.
Homeland attempts to... There was a season in Homeland where they made Beirut look like a refugee camp. This is one of the most cosmopolitan cities in the whole region. There's tons of plastic surgery and bleaching going on, and she's walking through the street and it looks like... I mean, I've been to Ramallah and Palestine, and yeah, basically more like that, except maybe even more extreme.
I tried to watch it into the second season, and it got so over the top, but nevertheless, that's not the point, because apparently Fox and Friends, is this the Weekend team? This must be the Weekend team, right? Where they try and basically see if they can find people stupider than Ducey and Kilmeade. And I think they did it. These three stooges, it's John Scott there with Pete Hegseth, and Abby Huntsman has shown up on Fox and Friends. And here is John Scott making the point about he has a message to the Muslim community. Here it is.
Marathon tomorrow, right? Mm-hmm. Do we remember who the bombers of the Boston Marathon were? I mean, just an aside to the Muslim community, if you don't want to be portrayed in a negative light, maybe don't burn people alive and set off bombs and things like that.
Yeah, and point out the radicalism and say that's not me, which is something a lot of people have talked about, but you don't have to do it by being politically correct.
Yeah, you don't have to do it by being politically correct. So there you have it, Muslims. And just as a side note, too, I wanted to make a point to Jews. If you don't want to seem so money hungry, maybe you shouldn't own so many investment banks.
Maybe you should leave a few shekels on the table, and you get a slightly different media treatment.
I mean, Madoff, Sam Israel. Do I need to stop somewhere?
If it's possible.
I mean, let's be honest, folks. And how many times do we see rabbis coming out and saying, don't take money if it's not yours, or don't do a investment scheme? I've never heard a rabbi ever say that.
Well, I mean, I say this.
And I go to temple on a fairly regular basis. I never heard a single rabbi ever say that.
I never saw the Jew march after Madoff.
No, I didn't either.
Stop defrauding people.
It's unbelievable.
You know what the problem is now, and we will still make jokes like this because they're great. We're in an environment now where there's a contingent of people like, you know what? That's a goddamn good point.
Right.
Instead of the lesson being oh, right, I shouldn't be an asshole to Muslims. It's that's exactly right. Where were the Jews after Madoff?
Oh, no, I'm just saying that to increase my Twitter followers.
Right.
Yeah, there's a couple of folks out there that are now, yeah, I'm Pepe friendly now.
Pepe friendly.
Hey, folks, Sam Seder here. Donald Trump can kiss all of our asses. And one way he can is by you subscribing to this channel. I don't know how that works.